It's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It is... What day is today? It's Monday. Everybody loves Monday. July 14th, 2025 AD. And we're going to have a fun, loosey-goosey, The Hake Report show. Oh, Lord. There I go again, calling it that. The Hake Report. What a mess. So do join us. 1-888-775-3773. If you'd like to call in, I appreciate it. I love talking with callers, even those who disagree, especially those who disagree, honestly, in some cases. And take your super chats, even from those who disagree, especially from those who disagree, in some cases. And let's have some fun. I will say, though, the views expressed on the Hake Report do not represent Hake. I don't even represent myself. Nor, much less, do they represent Bond or JLP. Not meant to, nor do they. Right? Or the network. It's all in good fun. Take it with a grain of salt. Take everything that you hear and see and think with a grain of salt. All right? All right. It's for general information and entertainment. And so chill. All right? Chill. It's not a big deal. But you can think it's a big deal and you may get worked up and call in and make for a great show. So, hey, you can take it to the heart. Just to an extent, though, but not to where you get all serious like that gal who, went over and did in her McDonald's manager, It's terrible. Oh, thanks for checking that. It is good. Yes, the audio is working over here on the Hake Report. And I'm yapping over here. Yapping. So God created. Let me mute this then. I do have more beach streams and footage to upload in which I talk a little bit less, partly on purpose, and partly because there's not really all that much to say. Okay, but we're going here on all of these platforms. It looks like everything's fine. Oh, here, let me make sure. Let me pull up your the YouTube chat. What's up, David? Come on, man. Always faithful. Chat EBT Elmo. Oh no, not Elmo. Elmo is a disgrace. I'm not necessarily only talking about the Elmo in the chat. I'm also talking, maybe perhaps more, talking about the Elmo in Sesame Street, who never grows up and just gets more girly and baby-ish. Anyway. What's up, Willie Pal? And everybody else here, let me see, make sure that you guys are all fine over here. The way that you can super chat is by going to, what is it? thehakereport.com. You can also do buymeacoffee.com/thehakereport. But if you go to thehakereport.com, you'll see various ways in which to support. So that's cool. What's up, Age of Inversion? T-Flying Monkey. It's actually T-Flinging Monkey. And Old Saucy. WT1. Thank you, Pastor Shadowley, raiding the stream. So, anyway, everybody, let's just get right on with the, I think, show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
you guys doing? I am fine. I have a size large t-shirt on. It looks fine. Whatever, guys. Mildly attractive. It's the light blue or sky blue or something. And you can get yours if you like by going to... let me show you. If we go over here, I disappeared myself on purpose, okay? Not the Clinton kind of disappearance. By the way, you can... Over here, if you go over here, you can see... You can buy Hake a coffee. And look, Eric bought 6 coffees. Nice. You missed 3 of my coffees in the last week. Oh, man. That's not good news. But if you go over here, shop. Boom. And then you have the different styles of t-shirt. And I think that this would be the... No, it's not kiwi. Let's see. It would be this one. I wanted to see chambray. So... It's something like this. Okay, so this is that color. Anyway, terrible. Well, you know what? Since I'm over here, let me read a few super chats. And I know I'm remiss. Anyway. I was going to say I need to get mugs here. Okay, so there was a Cashapp last Thursday that I neglected to read. Let me pull that up. Marilyn, you are God, King. Crown emoji. Thank you, Marilyn. That's very kind. My goodness, this is not pulling up. Here, let me bring this over here. Make sure that I'm still logged in and everything. Last time I logged in and it was, I logged in this morning and it already logged me out again. That's too secure. Calm down with the security. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Okay, so Marilyn says that I am God. She's the one who thinks that she's God and she thinks we all are God. And thank you, Marilyn. I appreciate the support and the well-meaning nature of your super chat. Very kind. Man, oh man, oh man. Ryan, thank you, sir. This is not right. This is bugging me. Nice. Ryan B, 38 coffees, very generous. And by the way, some people loved and some people hated Krishan the Dawn of the Misfit Nation, who was on the Hake Report last Friday. Come on, man. He's like, oh, he doesn't do your show any favors. But I saw you guys busy hating in the chat. And if you're hating in the chat, you're helping the show. Kind of. So he is kind of doing the show some favors. Some people, Krishan Thug Dawn, I shall call him, because he's still the thug that you love to hate. Krishan the Dawn, the normie thug, normie Christian pro-Israel thug, who, like Hake, doesn't think that you guys have all of your marbles with regard to the Epstein situation. But shout out. Cesar or Caesar, thank you, man. Ryan B, 38 coffees, very generous. Some people stay sick in bed, sick at work or in their heads. Doctors can diagnose problems they are having most. And then he says, this is from a Christian song, by the way. And he gives a follow-up, couple more coffees. Please have patience with the nurses. And I sang, they ask too many questions. They give stupid suggestions. So, shout out to 238. It's a Christian band. Gregatron says, last week or the week before, you had a caller talk about the Chappelle Show. Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies, according to him, before Obama was in office. JLP was doing that before Obama was in office, too. I agree 100%. There's more to it. Obama himself was not the issue. It was the overreaction to Obama being the first black president. Yeah, they got all excited. Oh, it makes history. Ooh, so good. And then the rest of us are like, no, this is not good. And some of us who knew it was not good overreacted to that, too. Kind of like COVID, you know? The overreaction to COVID was worse than the virus itself. Indeed, that is a fact. I felt that Obama was a troll, a lying troll. Okay? He trolled with lies. Obama being a troll with the truth. But he's not even trying to troll Trump. But Obama was trying to make people angry and just lie and lie and lie. Terrible. And he successfully trolled people. They got all into the birth certificate thing, overreacting with that. But the birth certificate thing, I value the boomers and older people who looked into it and were objective about it, but didn't get way overboard. Trump, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, happy White History Month. Those are some real guys. Obama, a phony, a fake. But yeah, overreacting to Obama, that's not right. People started getting canceled or labeled racist for criticizing the fallen Messiah. Yeah, and of course, people overreact to the people overreacting to Obama. It's endless judgment. It's kind of like people getting all wrapped up in the Epstein thing and then judging the people who are not wrapped up in it, and the people who are not wrapped up in it judging the people who are wrapped up in it. It's a vicious circle. It's destruction. It's strife. Also, we have movies like Friday and Scary Movie that united the races and many others. I might have seen parts of Friday. I never saw Scary Movie. But it was all fine. Nobody really bought into some people did. You know, in these stand-up Def Jam, stand-up comedy things, I've seen some of them, and some of those blacks would say crazy stuff, indicating that there was this hatred towards whites that they harbored viciously. But it was not so propped up as it is in the mainstream today. Worse than ever. Lastly, I remember black and white kids uniting under the umbrella of Snoop Dogg. Indeed. Dr. Dre. Yeah, even the Mexicans liked them. Well, the Mexicans liked all of this music. Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, Tupac, others, Snoop Dogg. But they didn't like blacks, but they liked the music. That's because they knew the blacks. They didn't know these people. But they weren't actually uniting because we were never actually divided. Know what I mean? Triple question mark. Interesting. Yeah, young people, he says, life was fun for us kids during the George Bush days. Bush the W? Comedians and movies talked about everybody, and we loved it. Indeed, Chappelle, Family Guy, all those people making fun of everybody. Social media ruined everything. So your caller is right. Sorry, this wasn't pithy. When's your birthday again? Thursday. Women's Forum, by the way. Thursday, third Thursday of the month. I saw it as we were weak as people ripe for the picking and exploiting. Obama could not have stoked hate if Hake wasn't there to stoke. Gregatron says, say what you want about Bush. Oh, I do. But there was no talk of racism during Bush, except the man known at that point as Kanye saying George Bush doesn't care about black people after Hurricane Katrina. Remember that? He said it on, I think, live on air during a fundraiser for the victims of the Hurricane Katrina. It was not even the hurricane victims. It was the aftermath. The levees broke and flooded. After the hurricane came and went, the levees broke, flooded, and many blacks didn't evacuate, and they're living down in the lowlands where the water is deep. And he's like, George Bush doesn't care about black people. Always speaking his mind. Kanye. The darkness in his mind. Shout out. The war in Iraq was jacked up, meaning not a good thing, right? Necessarily. But I didn't have any effect on us kids. I was enjoying my middle school days. Things changed under Obama with the Ferguson riots and the hands up, don't shoot, and Trayvon Martin and all that crap. Sorry, kids. But social media was pushing that stuff. Indeed it was. Yeah, what's her name? It was on the tip of my tongue. One of the Black Lives Matter black lesbian gals who was on the JLP show. She's like, hashtag Black Lives Matter on Facebook, and then it went viral. And then they're riding their egos wave ever since. During, and before, during Bush, only social media we had was MySpace. Remember MySpace? By the way, somebody sent me a picture that I only had on my MySpace. It might not be the same picture. It might be that of me dressed as black. So I have it now. That's cool. That's why I say it wasn't just Obama, and I didn't know it was called blackface. But anyway, it was the overreaction to him and social media. The culture changed somewhere during 2012 until now. I was in high school during 2008 to 2011, Obama's first term, and things were not, quote unquote, woke and politically correct quite yet. I don't remember wokeness, he says, until my college days. Crazy. Interesting, Gregatron. Yeah. I was in college during the W years. Eric, 5 coffees. Hake, you've missed 3 of my coffees in the last week. One this morning about the blacks. One last week about about anger. One last week, biblical response. Resent the biblical response and you read it on Friday, says Eric. Are you sure, Eric? It's possible. It is possible. He sends a lot. And you're referring to on the JLP show, I presume, because you're not talking about anger so much on my show, or the biblical question responses on my show. We do sneak them in different places, but I try to we do timestamp all the super chats for the most part. I'll have to check, Eric. All you guys coming out of the woodwork accusing me of missing coffees, and more often than not, sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's true, but more often than not, you guys are mistaken, and it's not me who misses your super chats. But thank you kindly for your coffees. I shall investigate on my own time, Sir Eric, with his 5 coffees. That's cool. That's not cool that he did that. I mean, that I did that if true. Lin Yen Chin, over here. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, yeah, Mum yesterday said this, that I shall not repeat. This set of numbers. I learned 5537808 when I was in 7th or 8th grade. Yeah, Mum. That's the one that I learned. And then you turn the calculator upside down. Don't do it, kids. Lin Yen Chin says, hope the ADL locks down Crush on the Dawn and probably men in general for being terrible caricature of the narrative spinner peoples that he portrays himself to be. What? He doesn't portray himself to be Jewish? What do you mean? I hope the full fury of Hollywood strikes that sapient hack of low IQ, says Lin Yen Chin. Also says, pick a day and make Mark your guest co-host. Ask all of your super chat folk to use their super chats as vote for or against this decision. Obviously, you will need to use disclaimer and have him agree to command words that makes him calm and focused. Says Lin Yen Chin, please tell Sister Ronnie. He's calling our brother Ronnie a sister because he thinks that Ronnie is not being completely masculine here, or he assesses Ronnie as not being quite masculine in some certain ways. Please tell Sister Ronnie her enunciation will improve if she stopped using her mouth for her nose, or her common and nasty gasping will persist as the sound eating her vowels. The whining victim vibe is why she is a she, a mommified, aka intellectual. Mouth breathers fail unaccountable nouns. No, not unaccountable. Uncountable nouns, turning freedom into so-called freedoms and liberty into so-called liberties. They do this to help their nasty vowel-shifting gasp, most noted as the for indefinite article A. and where I or E starts a word, such as, I forget. There's different words that start with I or E, and you make a sound. Enough out of you, Lin Yen Chin. Sorry, it's not that funny. Okay, nice. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. My goodness. So, Ronnie from Ohio himself states with yet another coffee. My brother Hake, to reiterate my point from Friday, I list Obama as one of the best U.S. presidents ever. And Trump still has time to land among Obama, Polk, as in James Polk, and Washington, as in George Washington, as one of the best. Or with Buchanan, Warren Harding. Buchanan is not, unfortunately, it's not Pat Buchanan. It's James Buchanan or something. And either Johnson, Andrew Johnson, and Lyndon Johnson as one of the worst. If he can find a way to reduce the deficit, as Obama did, he'd be a shoo-in as a top president of the United States. Also, do you agree with his decision to send Patriot missiles to the Ukraine? I know you trust him 100%, but I'm not sure if supporting Ukraine is what you and other Trump supporters voted for. As always, your POV point of view is much appreciated, bro. Dark black arm emoji and decently tanned white arm emoji, strong, like Hake's, roughly. Yeah, I saw that Trump said that he's very disappointed in Putin. He talks nice, says Trump, and then he drops bombs on everybody or sends missiles on everybody in the evening. It's not right. So crazy. Let's see. Supers, Lin Yen Chin. I will say that I do trust Trump on the supporting the Ukraine. He's not a, this is democracy type of Ukraine supporter. He wants peace. So he thinks that if he arms up the Ukraine much more strongly, perhaps Putin will say, ow, 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 uncle, and he will accept peace. Because right now, Putin is not saying uncle. So that's what's going on. Obama overreaction. That's crazy. Yeah. Totally. All right. So, yeah, that's my response. The deficit is the most important thing to you, man, Ronnie? I don't know, man. What about the quality of the country? The quality of the country just worsened so badly under Obama. The spirit of Trump is so much better, fresher, less oppressive. But anyway, nice. Yeah, I don't know anything about missiles, Patriot missiles or otherwise. I do know that Putin is not quitting. Trump said that he would stop that war in 24 hours, and I venture to guess that it never would have started. It might never have started, that war, had Trump won the second time, instead of the third time. But I'm glad Trump is winning the third time. But it's unfortunate for the Ukraine and for the Russians, because Trump not winning that second time caused all these wars to go out of control. So how many people died because Trump didn't win in 2020? It's harder to stop something once it's started than it is to prevent it happening in the first place. think of the stuff that you get into. After you start eating that pizza, it's like those potato chips. You know, there's this one potato chip brand whom I shall not endorse, and it's terrible. They know that once you start, you can't stop. No one can eat just one. There was this lady who climbed across in this commercial, a whole like clothesline wire to get more chips from another lady, a neighbor across the way. So once you start, it's hard to stop. And they've been at it. And nobody tried. I think Biden didn't even talk with Putin. I'm not going to talk to him. What a girl. Not that he could if he wanted to. What's up? Come on, man. So, yeah. The best among the best. Trump could be too. Ukraine. Interesting. Very interesting. Where did I leave off? Oh, by the way, Slithering Citizen bought a coffee a few days ago over on Ko-fi, ko-fi.com. That's cool. Thank you kindly. Cesar or Caesar says with a coffee, woke up late today. Now I'm busy looking after my nephew. It's a rare day off for me, so I have to podcast JLP and your report today. Have a great week, everyone, he says with a smile. That's cool. Whoa. That's interesting. Oh, yeah. Cashapp. Anyway, let me get to some calls here before I dive into some of what's going on in the world according to stuff that I read, okay? Mark in Los Angeles, California is on the line here. Mark, thank you for calling in and holding, man. What's up?
Happy White History Month.
Hey, happy White History Month to you as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Please try to honor that when these people call in. Remember what I said last week?
I remember.
Yeah, please push that because you'll get the white haters. You'll weed them out. But
Indeed.
I'm sorry. The reason I called is to talk about the Epstein files. First of all, I love Trump, but this is his first question mark I have about him. We heard Scam Bondi say that she had seen the Epstein files herself. Okay, and then she comes out and says they don't exist. And then, according to one of your competitors that I listen to, as often as I do you, he's really following this thing. He's not giving up on it. He's not listening to Trump to say forget it. And I'm not going to say who it is, but what he surmises and what I agree is that the Israeli Jews have Trump over a barrel. They've got him on something. Epstein was a Mossad agent. Maxwell, his girlfriend or wife, whatever, I think it was her mother or father was a Mossad. Most of these creeps that went to Epstein Island were not Christians, and a lot of them were not white. So they don't want to be exposed for the demons that they are. And the reason they're not going to be exposed is because I think this is just my opinion, but it sounds logical and reasonable that they probably are threatening Trump and his family if he goes ahead and releases that list. Because I've heard who might be on the list, and every one of them is a white hater, is a globalist, and is just a demonic soul. And yet we can't see who's on. I don't believe Trump's on the list. He may have visited over there, but Trump doesn't play with little kids. He's known as a womanizer, which, for better or worse, is true, but not as a pedophile. And I think we're not going to see the Epstein file because I think they've got something on Trump. They're either threatening him or something else, but this is all orchestrated, in my view, by the Jays. They want Trump under their control, even though only roughly 20% of Jews voted for Trump. 80% of the atheist Jews, the secular Jews, the commie Jews, are the ones after Trump. And they'll use, and this is, again, my opinion, they'll use the religious Jews in Israel to get Trump to do what they say. And when it comes to the Epstein files, I got to believe they've got something on Trump, because I've loved Trump on everything up till this. I think when you play with Satan, you get burned. And I think that's what happened here. Trump tried to placate these people, and they burned him. Not much different than what happened to Jesus. Not much different than what happened to Joe McCarthy. I know you don't know the story on McCarthy, but
not
the
really.
Jays did
Joe
him
McCarthy
in.
being the guy who was talking about the he was behind the so-called Red Scare.
Well, yeah, he exposed communists.
Right.
And the term Red Scare is something the liberals made up
It's
to
kind
make you feel guilty about wanting to get rid of communists.
Right.
Let me say this since I brought it up.
And so all of that was your opinion. For example, that includes that you said Epstein was a Mossad agent. I know that I've heard that he's been affiliated with them in some way or form, but this is stuff that you surmise. This is your opinion.
Maxwell, was that his girlfriend or whatever she was?
At one point, maybe. I don't know.
I think it was either her mother or father, was a Mossad agent. That's not my saying it. I've heard it from one of your competitors, but if he was lying, he wouldn't be on YouTube very long. I just heard it this morning, in fact. And also, if you think about it, Hake, look at the conservatives, quote-unquote conservatives, that are saying, let's move on from the Epstein deal. One of them, if you don't mind me saying his name, I don't think he's a competitor, but it's Ben Shapiro. He is totally against going after Epstein and the creeps that were on that island. He said it's not a conservative value. And coming from him, who puts Israel first, I wouldn't believe anything he says. Nothing. He's covering up this, and it looks like they got Trump to help in the cover-up. I don't know what's going on at the Justice Department. I always thought Dan Bongino was a good man. I don't know if he's going to resign or if he wants that file released or what's going on here, but I don't trust Pam Bondi. You were right, Hake, about her. You said you weren't sure. Well, you didn't like her because she was a female.
Right.
I don't like her because I think she's just not the right person from the job. I thought Matt Gaetz would have been
Me too.
far better than her.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you believe that the Epstein files are destroyed, or are ever going to be released, unredacted?
I don't believe that they will. I'm not going to say that they're never going to be. I just don't believe that they will. I really honestly don't think about it much because.
Well, that's what they want.
They want us not to think about it?
Yeah, they want us to pretend like it never happened. That's the idea here. They want to,
I know, but
say,
part of the reason is, you know me, I don't research much, and I haven't found it all that compelling.
Child sex, pedophilia.
Right, because they had it wasn't like that.
What do you mean?
When you say the child stuff like that, my mind goes to like 9-year-olds and younger. But these are teenagers, 14.
Under 18 makes it a crime.
I agree, of course. And it's on the U.S. It's the U.S. Virgin Islands, right? It's the U.S. Virgin Islands where most of this stuff took place. Because I did read a little bit about it this morning. Because a woman who listens faithfully and supports the JLP show and stuff, or has over time, made a claim that these are single-digit age kids, according to her research. And so I asked AI, as if AI is reliable, but I asked different AIs, whether that was a true or false statement, and they said, no, there's been no official stuff saying it was 9 or 10, under 10 year old people. One woman, this black woman from the Virgin Islands, a judge who got fired by a Democrat, claimed that there were like 11-year-olds, according to some people's interpretations of the kids that they saw. But this is like unknowable stuff, and I don't see how it's relevant, because people get away with worse crimes all the time, and they're still getting away with it. So it's
all
like
we want to see is the foul.
It's like
is that
a helpless,
asking too much?
Apparently it is.
Well, apparently it is, because the
Yeah.
people on the foul are evil demons who control the world.
I don't know if they do. Maybe they do. Whatever.
Yeah, they do. What's that group that they were claiming? Oh gosh, when they did the J6 thing, I can't even remember the name.
The January 6th committee.
The mission of
the committee, the January 6th committee, or whatever.
No. The group was dedicated to exposing pedophiles in our government.
Oh, Q.
Yeah, QAnon.
Uh-huh.
They were right. Pedophiles are running our world government. These, in my view, of course, we won't know because Trump and company, and I love Trump, they won't put out the Epstein file. But we could imagine who was on that island. It's been rumored. Well, we know Tom Hanks was there.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't want to get into that because I'm not going to start smearing Tom Hanks as little as I respect him. I don't respect him in terms of his politics at all. But
well, let me tell you this about Hanks.
No, I don't want to hear about Hanks right now. I mean, I don't really want to hear about Hanks.
I could prove he's guilty.
Well,
so you don't have to worry. He went to Greece and got dual citizenship because in Greece pedophilia is accepted and they won't extradite.
Man. Hey, you got to calm down. Okay, so which is worse in your mind? What they may have done to a handful of underage girls on that island.
It had to be, first of all, it had to be more than a handful.
Okay, well, let's say a few dozen or maybe even hundreds of underage girls, according to what you imagine or surmise to be the truth. What's worse, that? A few hundred, maybe, underage girls? I'm being very generous. Getting involved with those guys. Most of them runaways, maybe. Or what they're doing, pushing the LGBTQ stuff and sex education on millions of kids across generations.
They're both evil.
No, but which is worse?
The only difference is
they are both evil. But which is worse to you?
But I would say the people at Epstein Island were worse.
I disagree.
Well, no, simply because they actually lived out their perversion. Okay, on human beings.
I
don't care if the girl's 17 and 11 months. If she's under 18 or whatever, that's a crime.
It is.
And I'm not going to excuse it because most of the victims were not single-digit people.
Right. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that I don't really care.
Looking for excuses. You're comparing it to apples and oranges.
I know, but the oranges are worse than apples. Oranges are way worse than apples, man.
Buddy. I mean, you could see through the LGBT nonsense.
I know, but the kids are look at how corrupt our whole culture has gotten. That's like way worse. And
when you excuse the pedophiles,
no, it's just that I don't care.
I'm not saying you, but when the system protects the pedophiles that were at Epstein Island, that only makes the culture even more evil.
Well, the Bible does. The Bible does.
Don't you want to know who's on the list?
Not particularly.
Yourself personally.
No.
You don't want to. So you want these demons to get away with it?
I don't particularly want them to get away with it, but
that's what you're saying.
My knowing or not knowing is not going to do anything. You know?
Yeah, it will. If we know a certain individual, and I'm naming this guy because he's admitted to being there. So you don't have to get excited about it.
I'm going to get excited about
Dershowitz, the lawyer, was at Pedophile Island.
Right, but Dershowitz, that one was debunked, actually.
Well, he sued the girl that made the claim.
Yeah, and she had to take it back because it was not a reliable source. So Dershowitz...
on your Senator's show, he had Epstein, not had him on the show, he showed a clip of Epstein saying he knows everyone that was on the island.
Nice.
And he said the reason he can't say anything because he had some sort of an agreement with the court when he sued that victim.
I lost track of what we were talking about. Oh yeah, the Bible, as you know, you're a Christian, right? The Bible says, in this world, evil will seem to thrive.
Right.
So we're not supposed to be distraught about that.
No. Don't. You're twisting everything. Trump said he was going to release the list when he ran for president. Trump was saved by God with that shooting a year ago.
Uh-huh.
He was given to us by God, and even a man who gets his strength from God, like Jesus did, cannot outdo the power of the Jays. That's how it looks to me. So if they don't release that list,
you're making this too important.
It's cowardly. It's cowardly to not release that list.
Maybe.
And we know why they're not releasing it, because the people on the list are so powerful, they could probably take Trump out and destroy the world.
But you're getting way into your head about this.
Well, okay, then let's see the list. If you say I'm getting into my head, let's see the list. As long as you're
I don't have Trump's ear, and I wouldn't even do it.
You are part of the problem. You are with the phony conservatives, and I love you.
Right.
So I'm just doing this as constructive criticism. You're with the side of the Ben Shapiro conservatives who say, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. What do we care? Why care? I care, and so do most conservatives.
I know, but you care because you're caught up, though. You're making this. You're saying that these are powerful people who are controlling our whatever, but you don't actually know that.
Pardon?
You don't actually know that they're the powerful people.
We'll never know because they're not going to release the list.
Right. So
people
then why not be acquiesced to not knowing?
There are people who do know, and there are rumors as to who some of these people were.
And that's why you shouldn't listen to rumors. You know better than to listen to rumors.
No. In this case, when a person who was there admits to saying that there were powerful people, I'm talking about Dershowitz, and I hate the guy, but at least he's being honest here.
Yeah.
He said that there were other world figures that if they were exposed, it could cause problems for the Trumps. Maybe not Donald Trump, because he's pretty protected, but his family members could be got.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, the Mossad are evil, man. You think these Arabs are bad. The Mossad is every bit as evil. They're just as evil, and they'll take you out.
I mean,
the Mossad will take you out if they don't like your politics, or they feel that you're a threat to Israel. And if they put that Epstein client list out, it's going to make one group of people look real bad. And I think you know who I'm talking about. And it's not the Negroes this time.
Yeah.
Really, I don't get it, Hake. You're supposed to be a Christian, and you're willing to let these pedophiles walk.
Because it's not up to me.
Well,
I don't know anything about it.
I'm telling you about it.
I know, but you're not a reliable source because you're getting beside yourself over it. You're making claims that you don't know to be true.
Is the fact creeps are going to walk. These perverts are going to walk because they got money, they got power, and they can't. Even a man of God like Trump has been hoodwinked by these demons into not releasing that list. I want to see the list. Is that asking too much?
Yeah, it is.
Why?
Because you can't expect
not me.
your idea of justice.
Why is it asking too much?
Because one cannot expect justice in this world,
especially not
the way that you guys think of justice.
Have you heard of TPUSA? Turning
Point? Of course,
Point?
Yeah, Turning Point.
Okay, they had a convention this weekend.
Yeah.
And I love Laura Ingraham. She got up there and said, in front of 7,000 conservatives, are you satisfied with what Trump said about not releasing? Have you heard enough about the Epstein List?
Yeah.
And everybody overwhelmingly booed, meaning, no, we haven't. We want to see it. We want to see it. Real conservatives want to see it. Kosher conservatives, like Shapiro, doesn't want this out because too many of his friends are on it.
But you don't know that.
I don't know it. Then let's release the list.
I know, but then why are you making claims if you don't know it? And you're just convincing me even further to be not on your side on this issue. Not that
you want the perverts to walk.
Whatever. The point.
That's a yes or no question.
No.
Because that's the alternative.
That's not the alternative.
Either they're going to be exposed, whether they're prosecuted or not.
God will deal with them.
Pardon?
God will deal with them.
You could say that about every black criminal that rapes a white woman.
Indeed, I can. They get away with it most of the time, I hear.
Well,
at least in terms of murder.
They be prosecuted?
Of course.
Okay, these guys were caught with their pants down.
You're making stuff like you're making claims like this big crowd at TPUSA. They're not kosher conservatives.
They're real ones.
The crowd booing.
You put Israel first. I put America first.
Not necessarily. I think Israel should be tied for first with America.
No, there's no. What do you call it?
No equality. No, I'm with you. I'm kidding around.
No
I'm
equivocation.
teasing.
We've been a country since 1776. They've been around since 48.
Hey.
We could support ourselves without them. The only reason, and you know this, that we're supporting Israel is because of the so-called Holocaust. That's a guilt trip, and that's the only real reason we're supporting them. Even Newt Gingrich, who I don't like, he's a phony conservative. He even said the only reason I support Israel is because of the Holocaust. One of their biggest supporters. That's like saying I support the Civil Rights Bill because of slavery. I'm guilt-ridden. I'm a guilt-ridden white man.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking for myself. I'm saying the analogy here is if you don't support Israel, you're an anti-Semite. If you don't support the Negro civil rights movement,
right,
you're a racist. Do you see where I'm getting at? It's the guilt trip. And apparently it's working on you, Hake.
But I don't even care about, I don't even connect the Epstein thing with Israel the way that you guys do.
He was from Mossad, and so was his wife or
whatever. That doesn't mean anything necessarily. Maybe it does, but it's not in my mind when I'm thinking about it.
Why would Ben Shapiro and the other Jewish conservatives want us to move on and forget about Epstein Island?
Because you guys are making fools of yourselves, turning on, not you personally, but many of you guys are making fools of yourselves, turning on Trump and all kinds of stuff. It's
I'm
like
not
ridiculous.
turning on Trump.
Nice.
I'm not.
I know you're not, because you're more you're older and wiser and more sensible than some of these other people who are just besides themselves, calling Trump a PDF and all kinds of stuff.
No, I wouldn't never say that or believe it.
Right.
What I said before, I believe he's under pressure, and this group of people that we're talking about can really put pressure on you.
Nice.
And they put pressure on Trump, and maybe it was Jared Kushner, I don't know, but it's either you're going to hide this list or we're coming after you.
But you got to. You don't have to, but I notice a whole lot of speculation going on your part.
No. Here's a direct question.
Okay.
No speculation. Why don't they release the list?
I don't know.
Okay, then you shouldn't say anything further. You shouldn't be correcting me on anything. You shouldn't say I'm making it up.
But you are making stuff up. You even admitted that you're making stuff up.
I'm not making it up.
You made up a whole bunch of stuff.
Dershowitz says, and he was a participant at the island, said that the people that are on the list are world leaders, that it would cause a problem for Trump if the list was released. Come on, Hake, you can put two and two together. You could play dumb on this, but you know what's going on. You know what's going on. Trump doesn't back down, but he's backing down on this. He is. I love the guy. I'm going to vote for him. Nice. I'm going to send him money because the alternative to MAGA is communism.
Right.
So we're stuck with him. I love Trump. I shouldn't put it that way. But they know it. The Jays know it. And they're exerting every bit of power they can on Trump to do their dirty work, which means, in this case, covering up the Epstein files. And again, I'm going to try one more time.
Okay.
Just in your opinion, why do you think they won't release the list? Your opinion.
What Trump has said, my opinion agrees with Trump in terms of just the basic thing that he said.
Let's move on. That's not an answer.
No, he didn't say that. That's not the only thing he said. He said there are people who could be implicated who are innocent. Now, there may be a lot more to the real reasons why, if there are reasons beyond that I don't know about. It could be what you're talking about, but there's people who are on lists, which may even include Dershowitz, right? Because you're saying that he's a participant, but he may not have participated the way that you're thinking.
He said it himself. He sued his victim, and that's why he's obligated to not give names of who's on the list.
I know, but
you haven't answered
he sued his.
Why don't
hold on, I got to correct you. He sued his accuser, not his victim.
Okay.
Because that accuser may not actually have been his victim.
Well, that's what the court ruled. But
The court ruled what?
the point is, Dershowitz knows who was on the
The
island,
court ruled what?
that he was not guilty.
Okay. So then why are you calling her his victim if the court said
Well,
that he was
okay,
not
a
guilty?
slip of the tongue.
Okay.
I think that she probably was a victim. Personal opinion.
Of him?
But for sake of argument, we'll say accuser.
Yeah, because
I don't want to get
isn't it
bogged
better?
down in that.
But isn't it better to say I don't know than to smear a guy? That's your fellow man that you're smearing.
Who am I smearing?
Dershowitz.
No, I said that he sued his accuser, and
Right.
he won. He was not found guilty. But the only reason I bring him up because he was at the island.
Mm-hmm.
He knows who the bad guys are, and he's obligated by court order not to give the names up. But
Nice.
there's no reason on earth that you could dream up that that list shouldn't be released. It doesn't mean that everyone on the list is guilty.
Right.
We just want to know who was there. It doesn't mean they're convicted of a crime. It doesn't make them suitable for arrest. Maybe, hopefully, in some cases. We just want to know who was there. Is that asking too much?
I decline to answer repeatedly.
Well, I'll let the audience decide.
Yeah.
You can't give an answer as to why those files aren't being released.
I gave you a reasonable answer.
Oh, because you're saying that it could hurt people? No one will be arrested if they didn't do anything. All we want to know is who
People
was there.
get arrested when they didn't do anything. You know that. Trump got arrested.
Well, the same people that hate the pedophile people
Right.
aren't the same people that hated Trump.
True. Well, I
Okay.
don't know, man.
What does it say?
It's being
Why
used by
isn't a
the.
federal
Have you
judge-
noticed that the Democrats are jumping on this bandwagon?
Which bandwagon? To defend the
Yeah,
pedophiles?
no, they're jumping on the bandwagon to release the Epstein thing.
Good. I hope they do. I hope they get. And this is one last question on this issue
Okay.
for you.
Yeah.
Why hasn't a federal judge, one of these tyrants, why haven't they demanded that the Trump administration release the Epstein files? They've got the federal judges doing everything they can.
I know, huh?
Why don't they order Trump administration, scam Bondi, to release those files? They can do it with a
I
court
like
order.
that. I like that name actually, Scam Bondi.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
That's what
malicious.
it is.
I don't want to
Scams
be
me,
malicious,
man.
but it's amusing. It's funny.
Yeah, because, she was supposed to be the Great White Hope. But I don't know.
Scam
If they don't
Bondi.
release those files, it's not looking good. I bet you Matt Gates would have released it
I don't know, man. I don't know.
because he's commented on this whole affair.
They all talk big, though. Didn't they talk big and then they
Well, he tried.
became quiet as a mouse?
Well,
I'm not
Pam
saying
Bondi
Gates.
said
I'm
that-
talking about Bongino and who's that Cash Patel guy? They all Bongino not so much, but Cash Patel's a big talker and then he doesn't produce maybe.
Yeah,
But
I'm a little
I gotta move
disappointed.
on, Mark. I appreciate your call.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well. Bye. Brandon, a caller out of Kansas City, Missouri. Brandon, thanks for calling, man. What's up?
Hey, it's Scarecrow's Garage.
Hey.
I haven't called in quite a while.
Yeah.
How's it going, Hake?
Going
Hey,
well.
First of all, I want to apologize to you. I used to think you were censoring yourself, and I started to realize I watched this guy, Myron Gaines, which you really should check this guy out, Fresh and Fit.
Don't be
he's
dropping
kinda
the
like
names,
Andrew
buddy.
Tate. Okay, well, Andrew Tate.
You
I mean,
just dropped more
not really
names.
name
Did you catch yourself dropping more names? Apparently not.
Well, I mean, how can I talk about anything if I don't talk about the sun?
You don't have to
behind?
drop these names.
Okay, well, alpha males.
Okay. Thank you.
That are controlling the airwaves nowadays, much like some of your competitors, which you mentioned their names. Ultimately, there's about 7 or 8 really good ones. I think Jesse's in that level, to kind of opening everybody's eyes, to the matrix, if you will. But ultimately, what I wanted to call in and say was, I realized that you were censoring yourself just to, kind of save your channel. And you kind of play it off nonchalantly like you're censoring
Yeah,
yourself. but
I've
you
said that
ultimately just
repeatedly. That never sunk. You never believed me. I say for
Yeah,
the sake
no,
of the
It
channel.
took me a while to realize it.
I
Anyway.
understand.
That's the first point I wanted to make. So you were a little more advanced than me on that theory. So I get it now. Because some of the other people I watch, when the R word comes up, they'll censor it. So I get it now, because you want to spread the message on YouTube and you don't want to be kicked off. So it's
Yeah. And
it's
then there's
reaching more
stuff to
people.
talk.
So-
There's other stuff to talk about that I actually care about more than some of this nasty stuff.
Right. Well, here's the thing. You know, the nasty stuff, which you refer to, we'll call it the P word.
Okay.
Philia.
PDF stuff.
Right. That's the most important thing on this world, Hake. When you have children, I've got 3 daughters. You know, that's my main priority, is to protect those 3 girls. And I know this world's fallen and it's a horrible world, so it's going to be very hard for me to protect them. But I'm going to do the best I can. The main thing that I would probably get very angry about, which you shouldn't get angry, but if anybody were ever to touch my kids, you know, for the fact that my mom was murdered here about 3 or 4 years ago, I'm just really tired of people messing with people in my family. If that were to happen, especially women, and I'm going to protect them. Now, you can't do anything crazy to put yourself in prison, because then you won't be here to protect them at all.
Mm-hmm.
But you definitely want to get what kind of justice you can. And even though the justice system's totally screwed nowadays, you're still going to attempt it rather than putting your life in jeopardy, not being there for your daughters or whatever. So anyway, long story short, that's going to be probably one of the most important things as a parent to protect my kids from. You know, that and danger, harm, anything like that. So that's the most important thing. And the fact that society doesn't see it that way is disturbing, because we protect our money more than we protect our children. Armored cars carry your money around. Our school buses are very soft targets, or schools. But banks and money, not so much. Very protected, Fort Knox. So it should be the opposite, just like, you know, our military should be respected, because those people don't really understand what they're getting themselves into. A lot of those people are from the heart of America or South or whatever, and they're just wanting to protect America. They don't understand the sick games that are behind it. And that's what I wanted to get to next, is what Mark was saying. I usually don't agree with him on a lot of stuff, because even though racism doesn't exist, you can still be a bigot. And I feel like sometimes he's very bigoted in his views. I do want to say that he's very on point with what he's saying. And it's not like, you know, we're trying to point out the Jays. But if you look, 15 out of 17 of the top hedge funds are owned by them. Hollywood's owned by them, which is also have a partnership with the prisons and the music system, the music industry. Just chat GPT this stuff. Ask if prisons correlate with music. Everything has a catalyst, and basically everything's working off of each other. So, you know, the school system basically, you know, conforms us, tells us we need to go to college. College is a business nowadays. It's not an educational system. Everything plays off of each other. But it's all controlled by one people. It's all controlled by the centralized banking system. That's why all these countries are being toppled one by one, like Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria. Basically, all these countries are not part of the centralized banking system. To control everybody, you have to control the money, you have to control the media, you have to control the education. It's all controlled by the same people. Now, let me tell you one other thing. Celebrities. Like, let's take Jelly Roll, for example. I listened to Jelly Roll for about 10 years.
Is that the white,
yes,
tattoo-faced, fatter?
Now, watch this, Hake. This is going to blow your mind. What they do is, these people are brought up naturally. I've watched Jelly Roll for 10 years. He came from Antioch, Tennessee, where other rappers came from, like La Chat, which you were talking about earlier on Jesse Peterson.
Yeah.
Memphis rap is huge.
Okay.
You know, you got 3 6 Mafia and Little White, Jelly Roll, Haystack. All
right. Get your point.
Anyway, long story short, Jelly Roll, let's just call him Jay, was semi-popular for 10 years. Once you reach a certain level, it's usually around 150 to, let's say, 500,000 followers on YouTube, for example, you will get approached by somebody in the music industry. Usually they have ulterior motives. That person in the music is thinking, oh my God, finally I got found. Little do they know what they're doing is they're consuming your base. So Jay's base is pill poppers, people that have been in abusive families, people that sold drugs. Because, mind you, Jelly Roll was a drug dealer. He talks about it in his raps. He's got to look up the 10-minute freestyle, Jelly Roll. Talks about all serving pills and 2-for-1s and blah, blah, blah. The reason they go out and get him is so they can consume the energy. Everything's energy. So whether it be Adele or Jelly Roll or any one of them, really, what they do is they bring them in when they're wholesome and they're pretty real about their music and stuff, and then they just develop them into one of their monsters. And eventually, once they get further down the road, look at these music stars that eventually turn into demons. Literally, they come in singing their songs about what they're writing about, and then all of a sudden the music changes. And then they have to conform. Once they're trapped, once they're in the spider web, they can no longer get out. If you try to get out, look at Michael Jackson. They made him into a pedophile. They tried taking his money.
They accused him that way, or cast him that way, whether he was guilty or not. What he was actually doing, this will blow your mind too. He was actually creating a land so he could protect kids. You ever talk or listen to Macaulay Culkin and Corey Haim and, all these, Chris Tucker, all these people that actually knew him? He was protecting the kids because he knew what was going on. This is so deep, Hake, that if you go down the rabbit hole, all you got to do is leave off the T in rabbit. It is unbelievable, Hake. They own us all, man. They own the president. Shout out.
They own everything. And Israel is a backroom deal made by the Rothschilds because Britain was owed money by Palestine or something like that. They end up taking that land, and what they're doing is they're basically just presenting the story as prophecy. But if I were to write a book, not saying the Bible is completely made up, but if I were to write a book and eventually knew that I was going to be found out, as they have been found out in 109 different countries they've been kicked out of, which is true.
Somebody looked into those for me, and I don't know. What a mess.
I would write in the book that I will be persecuted. Everybody will turn against me. And that's not right because I'm God's chosen. So if you go against me, you're going against God. It's such a trick bag. Everything is opposite. Everything is upside down right now, Hake. And it's because, just like Judge Judy said, one of the smartest people in the world, if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. If you start going down the hole, you'll start to find all these inconsistencies. And basically, you'll get to the end where it's just like, turn the other way, turn the other cheek. None of this is true. Exactly what they're doing with the Epstein List right now. Oh, don't pay attention to that. That's not a big deal. Hundreds of thousands of kids come up missing in the United States. Oh, well. So you really got to open your mind a little more, even though I don't agree with Mark. He's spot on, man. He's trying to tell you the truth. These music stars, these Hollywood stars, they're all nabbed up. They're honest people before they're nabbed up, before they're caught.
Honest drug dealer, Jelly Roll.
But
I get your point.
Their soul. They have to sell their soul, and they have to basically. Go look at all these stars, how they're worth about the same amount of money. Go look at most of the stars. When you reach level 1, it's like $10 million. When you get to Travis Kelce's level, which is the next level, It's about 50 million.
Is that the one
When you get
who's
to
with,
Jay-Z's
what's her
level-
name? T Swift?
Yeah, because here's the thing. He's allowed to date certain people in that echelon, if you will, because people all on Taylor Swift's level know a certain thing.
I
They
get
have
you.
been threatened to a certain level.
I get you.
Look at Bongino and Cash. Look, their soul's been completely ripped out of their eyes.
Dang.
They know. They know. If they mess up, their family is gone. It'll be a vacation, and they'll all end up in a big old car accident.
It is high stakes.
something like that.
People would do horrible things for power, for sure. I'm not taking that away from
But
you.
here's let me say this to end here.
Okay.
Without all of this hate, none of the soul harvesting is possible. If we're not in a fallen world, God can't tell where our soul is. Because all these temptations, all these pitfalls, if you will, are basically just a test. This is all binary. It's ones and zeros, good or evil. You make a bunch of positive choices, you're going to get a positive number. You make a bunch of negative choices, you're going to get a negative number. Lights on, lights off. It's real simple here. Just pay attention to the voice inside of you. Everybody knows good. Stay towards the light. Bring the darkness towards the light, like Jesse says, and you're going to be fine. You don't need a Bible. You don't need a church. You need your connection with God. Water, light, sun, grass, birds, animals, love, stuff like that. You want to go towards that. You want to stay away from Jelly Roll. You want to stay away from, but you don't want to judge them.
Yeah.
Because, look, I'm going to tell you something real quick. I had an out-of-body experience, and I never had anything like this in my life. I don't have any ghost stories or alien stories. But I about hit a tree in a Mustang one time in the passenger seat, and time literally stops, and I literally see all of my life played out on these little video screens. Hake. Time stopped, and I hear this voice. It wasn't like a human voice. It was like a vibration almost. It was like, roll, roll, roll. And it told me, this is the last time I'm going to protect you. And it showed me all my life. I saw all these little movie screens of me telling my mom, shut up, me going to church, me playing baseball, me doing whatever. And I could feel every single ounce of pain or happiness within each one of those videos I was watching, all at the same time. Thousands and thousands of memories. And it all happened within a split second. And what I found out was what we are doing to people, it's actually us. You're going to find out when you steal from somebody, you steal from yourself. When you kill somebody, you kill yourself. When you try to be mean to somebody, you're going to feel that energy. What you tried to do to them, it's going to come right back to you.
Yeah, I've
And
noticed
you're going
that.
to see the whole movie of your life, man, before you die. And that's going to be judgment. But not only do you see it, you feel what you tried to do to them. Little do you know, it was you the whole time. That's why they say everything is everything. It's crazy, man. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And then time comes back in, and we hit the tree, and the car splits in half, like the front end of it, the Mustang, 2000 Mustang. And I didn't even talk about the car accident. I ran home. My girlfriend and best friend told me not to get in that car with my neighbor. I did it anyway, and I said, hey, I just talked to God. I just talked to God. I just talked to God. Never even mentioned the wreck once. And from that day forward, I'm not a church guy. I'm not anything like that. I don't like church. I love God, and all day long, I just sit here and I just try to find out the answers. But that experience when I was 21, I'm 47 now, your age, almost, around your age, was the only time I ever saw anything or heard anything or witnessed anything like that in my life. It was supernatural, and I'll never deny it.
Crazy, man. I appreciate your
It
input.
was crazy.
Happy
But
White
that's
History
all I wanna
Month to
say,
you,
hey.
man.
Absolutely. And I will say that, once my mom was murdered here about 5 years ago, it changed my life. And, I lost all my friends. because I've been hanging on to those people for years, you know. I lost my mom and my dad both in 1 year at 40 years old. And I think what that was God telling me, take time out, son. You only got so much time left. You better figure it out. You know, and sometimes he'll put some horrible situations in your life, but look for the silver lining, guys and girls. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Wow. Super chats. Pilled people. Tyrannosaurus next. Wrecked. Says, Hake, we will never restore our republic until the Congress is purged of the Epstein List PDFs. He says a different word. It is not just about underage girls. Trump was prosecuted and sentenced by a corrupt judicial system. Dershowitz, I think, used lawfare to silence his accuser or accusers. The R, says Chops ITMC, of children for fun and profit is evil by every measure. Willful ignorance is implied endorsement, at least. No, it's not. No, it's not. But Trump is breaking MAGA, says Chops ITMC. I can't read. Pardon me. Right on. Thank you, guys. Eric, 10 coffees. Before I get back to your calls and stuff, and this news, Eric bought 10 coffees, very generous, saying, seeking truth, what's right first. Zoom in. Above all else, makes it impossible to have sex, out of wedlock. 99.9% of people are deaf, dumb, and blind, spiritually speaking, I'm sure. Can't see their imagination, can't hear common sense, are dumb to the guidance of God because they repeat the same mistakes. When you can't say the word sex, you're keeping people from hearing the truth, so they repeat the same mistakes. When you have sex out of wedlock, you're having sex with the daughter of Satan, says JLP. He says, that's a true statement, this is Eric. Most people can't see. It's even harder for them to see if you won't read the statement. He's going off on me for censoring this S word. They need to scratch their head and wonder why someone would say such a crazy statement until they realize it's true. When they figure out all this means, they can begin to apply it to their life, but not when you fumble the ball around saying the word sex. Says you, man. But thank you for your input. Think about all the parents who were too timid to talk to their children about the sacredness of sex. Now look at the world, pure degeneracy. You think so? I don't know. I think my mother was more outspoken about it than my dad. My dad didn't even talk about it. But my mother's like, you're not supposed to sleep with people out of wedlock or have sex out of wedlock. I don't know. Maybe I would have been better off had it not been for my mother doing that. Censoring key words makes it difficult to communicate, which keeps people deaf, dumb, and blind in the hell of their imagination. Demons making baby demons, says he. But telling them that stuff, I don't know. Hearing the truth, I don't know, man. I think you're putting too much importance on words. I get that I'm putting some importance on words, too, by censoring it. But I'm censoring it because of a little bit of decency. I mean, man, but whatever. Or drama. Because my mom won't even. Anyway. Thank you, Eric. Interesting point. I don't know. Interesting. Something to ponder, I suppose. Man, oh man. Before I get into these stories, though, let me talk with ELIAS, or is it ELIAS? ELIAS. How do you pronounce?
What's up, buddy?
Out of Houston, Texas, first-time caller. How do you say it?
ELIAS.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, awesome. I love your show, man. I'm always, listening to it. It's always, fun.
Thank you.
I'm always trying to catch it
Thanks, man.
while at work.
Happy White History Month to you.
Happy White History.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just calling because I'm annoyed over these callers always calling about their children and how their children are so important. Oh, my God. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, nobody wants to touch your ugly kids. You know what I mean?
I mean, I
so
don't really
concerned
hear
about these-
people doing that. Yeah, I heard the last caller talk about his own kids. I understand protecting your own kids, but this thing about protecting the children is liberal stuff.
Yeah, and also they're assuming like everyone wants to hurt their children. The whole world wants to hurt their children. When it's in their mind, they're assuming everyone's a pedophile. You know what I mean?
You know what? You bring up an interesting point. There's an anti-man thing going on. And the media the media and the liberals have latched on to this Epstein thing to attack men.
Mm-hmm.
To smear men as though every man is a PDF. Any man who is around a kid is suspect. And
Yeah, the automatic, yeah.
And that's insane. That's evil. They're perverted. They're the ones with the dirty minds. Much more so than not. And another point that you bring up with this passion about wanting to protect even your own children is it can be a distraction. You end up being concerned about the outside world and forget yourself. That's why I liked
when all in all it's in the family. Exactly, yeah. It's all in all it's the brother or
a lot of these kids. It could be step parents, it could be whatever, or a lot of these kids are runaways. They run away from whom? Their parents or their mother or probably usually the mother. But and it's because the parents are so over concerned and overprotective of their kids that they end up doing their kids wrong in a bunch of different ways and driving their kids into the world because they've gone crazy. They have the wrong motive. I remember I had a motive when I was dating.
Yeah.
This one time I was like, I want to do right by this girl. But you're not supposed to have some motive like that. You're supposed to stay present because when you have a motive or a intention, you're lying to yourself. Most of the time when you have this intention, you don't do your intention. When you go into something, you don't do your intention. Your intention is a lie.
Let me tell you a story. Hey, I was in prison, right?
Prison? Okay.
I did time, and they put me in. I'm big. I'm very muscular. I'm very bald and ugly, and they put me in prison with a pedophile.
Whoa. Okay.
This guy, they put me in because they thought I was going to hurt him. They kept telling me,
And this guy that was with let me interrupt you because you mentioned this. A lot of times, these people who get child sex crimes, they're like 21-year-olds with like a 13-year-old. Was it that type of a thing? Or was it full-blown young kid and older guy?
No, he was recording. He was making videos of people sending him recordings of videos of these guys.
Okay, so
children.
he did the child pornography.
Right, he was the one recording the videos.
Yeah.
And this guy is off the chart. He's intelligent. He is a genius. He was hacking into these systems.
Was he Asian or white?
And collecting these videos.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was he Asian
but
or was he white?
he was white, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he was white. But he had. What I'm getting at is that you understand the world, but you never understand the people. You have to. Calm down, like Jesse says. You have to. Jesse says you have to. You can't react on your feelings. He's a pedophile. If someone says he's a pedophile, oh my God, they all jump on him.
Right.
And they
kill him.
This is it. This is his life.
Yeah. Or they do some type of maiming to him.
You can't just judge people like this. You know? because you're judging yourself. Like the guy was saying, he was saying that you kill someone and you kill yourself.
Right.
You hurt someone, you hurt
Brandon's
yourself. You're
right about
judging
that.
him, dude. You're judging yourself. You can't. This Epstein guy, these people are all concerned about this Epstein files. Well, why? What? Like Jesse said, why are you concerned with this mess? There's nothing there for you. It's not going to help anyone, dude. I mean, it's just a waste of time, waste of your soul. Your soul is so important. You need to work on yourself to realize how important the soul inside of you, because you can't lie or cheat or steal without. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna hurt, and you're gonna feel the consequences.
How long did
You're born with it. Everyone's born with a soul. That's a lie. These people saying that you're not born with a soul. No, you can't come through this world without a soul.
You sometimes buy coffees, huh? Buy me a coffee.
Yeah, you banned me.
I did?
You banned me because I was going off the charts putting comments on it. Yeah, it was my fault.
I don't remember banning you on Buy Me a Coffee, but yeah, be careful on. I know that you were. Somebody might have banned you. Asmodor might have banned you from the Odyssey.
Yes,
But
sir.
on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report or buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, I don't think that we've banned anybody. They might have banned you because you went too crazy. You do go kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was so upset when Colin Flaherty died. Remember when Colin Flaherty?
Yeah, yep.
I was upset. I was beyond
You're Latino?
grief.
Are you Latino?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm my anchor baby.
So it would be ELIAS.
Yes.
So if you pronounced it in Spanish, and then ELIAS I like, it's cool too. But in Spanish, how would you pronounce it?
People call me Eli because I'm big. I'm really big.
Nice.
And people.
What was it like being in that cell with that dude? How long were you in that cell with that guy?
I was gonna hurt him.
You were?
Hurt him. I was told to hurt him. Yes, security guards and whatnot. They insinuated that yes, I need to, and they gave me extra food, extra servings, and another mattress.
Yeah.
But I started talking to him, and like I said, I couldn't believe how he was so smart. He was not a pedophile. He wasn't interested in hurting children. That wasn't the reason why he was there. And that's why I was explaining to you that people.
There's always more to the story that you have no idea, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And like this Epstein file crap. Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Think about it. People are assuming this guy
was
molesting little girls. You don't know that.
True.
Did you see this guy doing it?
Right.
Even if he says that he's got video of Bill Clinton touching these kids.
Yeah.
Where is all this mess coming from? They're trying to put fear and like Jesse said, it's all about this satanic media trying to corrupt everyone. Like I said, your soul is very important. You can't just...
Yeah. Meanwhile, people are caring about the evil in the world, ignoring the evil within.
Within, yes.
Yeah.
That's
True, man.
Yeah, that's why I love your show, man. You're so amazing. You're just truth. Everything is truth coming out your mouth.
How old are you? In your 30s or 40s or 50s or 20s or what?
No, I'm 50.
Okay.
50.
Right on, man.
Supposedly, my doctor says I'm about to die. I got...
he says you're about to die?
Well, I can't stop growing. I have a lot of stuff going on in my body.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish you well, man. Thank you for calling. It's great to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Take care,
I love, what's his name? William? Your callers.
From California?
William.
Nice.
Yeah, and Brian. I'm always looking up for Alex from California.
Oh, yeah.
The metalhead.
A sensible man.
Yeah. I'm always trying to hear your wisdom and your logic, and just trying to stay fit, trying to stay put in this world.
Cool, man.
Gotta have you, Hake.
You doing JLP's silent prayer?
Yes, sir.
Right on, man. It's great to hear from you, Elias from Houston, Texas.
All right, thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right, bye.
A white history hero, Elias. Let's get to Jermaine in Canada. On the line here, Jermaine. Thank you for calling. What's up?
Hey, James.
Hey.
How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
All is well. Happy Hawaii History Month, man.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care, but since you guys are on the topic about Epstein file, like, people don't care. They're just looking for a thrill at this point.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know that you notice when you get some information, you get excited about the information, and then you start judging with this information. Maybe you judge before you get excited, but that seems like what's happening. And then it's something to fight about. And then there's an excitement and a thrill for sure.
Yeah, and if what you say, like, you know, the liberals are up and on it,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Because you know what a coup d'etat is, right?
A coup d'etat, a taking down of the head and replacing the government, basically. Yes.
Yeah, so they're up and on it. Like, they get you to identify with them first. Like, oh, if this were your kid, what would you do? Get you on in your thoughts and emotions. And they use it against you because now everyone wants to know what's on the file. But really, they don't care about the kids. They just want to use this information against these people to break down the government. And who knows? You know, like, so let it go. It's not even that important, honestly.
Right. What you focus on seems so important to you. And you can connect it to everything. And it's imagination, really.
Like, I don't know the verse, but it kind of says in the Bible, like, there's a way that seems right to man, but it's not the right way.
That's right.
Something on that line.
Yeah. No, that's true. I like that.
And you made a great point when you were talking about the LGBTQ plus, I don't even know the letters at this point.
Right.
But you made a great point on that, like what they're doing in the country now. I mean, you could compare, like Mark was saying. I like Mark, but you and him were talking about apples and orange. Yes, you know, like, you may want to know, but what is that going to do? It's not going to help you. It's not going to help the country.
Yeah.
People just want it as ammo to use on their platform to get views and likes, and that's pretty much what they're fighting over.
Yeah.
Trump is doing a great job now. Let's focus on building the country. They will be judged accordingly. God will deal with them. Just don't focus on that, man.
That's true. Exactly, man. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, Trump is trying to deal with this border situation, but nobody cares about the border. That's not what's exciting right now.
Yeah. It's your new thrill in town.
Yeah.
I sent you a video on Instagram. Not sure if you saw it. It was about a mother, too, that turned her son into a girl. And she said her kid knew from the kid was 1.5 years old. And once the kid started talking, she said the kid told her that the kid is trans.
Whoa.
So, and she wanted to feel loved. So, of course, she went along with it. And the dad is so weak that he's along with it, too.
Typical.
So they did an interview. They were doing a protest. 2 months back in 2024, I think early November. And then she popped up on another clip saying, you know, my daughter, she called her son her daughter, but she was saying that the kid asked that if Trump wins the election, if she's going to have to move, are they going to take her away from them? She's going to get her medical, sponsored, and she feels like she's going to get killed. Not knowing that the parents are putting all of these pressure on the kid, the fear that the parents have, they're putting it on the kid, and she's dragging the kid in hell with her.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
totally true.
And it's the same thing now with the files. Like, they don't love the kids. They don't even care.
That's true. You
So
know,
it's just,
there is this woman who, to your point, there's this woman who accused, I saw it on American Anchor Baby, actually, last week, who's coming up, by the way. There was this woman who accused Judge Roy Moore of trying to get with her when she was 15 and he was like 35. He had just come back from deployment. And they were all excited about her because she was going to take down Roy Moore. And after the excitement was over, everybody forgot about her. The world moved on, and now she's forgotten. They don't love her. And even if somebody stayed, let's pretend that somebody were to stay with her, and checked up on her. That's not love either. So it's the same thing. It's just excitement to judge somebody else with, thinking that you're caring about the kids. Just caught up. Terrible.
Yeah, one event after another. All right, James, that was pretty much my point.
Good to hear from you, man. I appreciate it. Happy White History Month again to you.
You too, James. Bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, so catch American Anchor Baby. He is indeed scheduled. The redirect is set for YouTube, if you're watching me on YouTube. He's also live he will be live, that is, on Rumble and other platforms. I'd like to get to a little bit of news, if you don't mind. The Grand Canyon caught fire. The North Rim is closed. What's the North Rim of the Grand Canyon? I feel like I went to the West Rim, but it was controlled by the American Indians, so we didn't get to... I've never been to the Grand Canyon. We didn't get to go in. We were driving. They turned us around because it was getting to be after dark or something. Wow, will you look at that? Spectacular. This is what people mean when they say America is beautiful, I think. They're not talking about the people or the values anymore. Terrible. Very nice. That's in... Where is it? Arizona. Whew. I was going to say Arizona, but I didn't want to be wrong. Established in 1919. Picnics. Dogs allowed. People go down. What is it? The Colorado River? Does the Colorado River go through it? Let's find out. I don't really have time to go through this. Okay, so there's a bird's eye view. This is satellite footage of the Grand Canyon, I guess. I feel like it was about to say. I feel like it said. Yeah, there it goes. Lord. Yeah, there's the North Rim. I guess it would tell me, right? Wouldn't it tell me if I were to go back? Anyway, it's not important. That's what's going on. The Grand Canyon had a wildfire, and so the North Rim is closed. Is that the main one? Including even the Grand Canyon Resort or Lodge, I think. These liberals, they're saying that Alligator Alcatraz is inhumane. Who's saying it? Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Watch, if I search Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Not a Christian, by the way. I don't think. 58 years old. She's in the House of Representatives. And she was a former chair of the Democrat National Committee. I think she resigned in shame. Something like that. Because of the DNC leaks, she emailed Chuck Todd or somebody, and Chuck Todd is like, she's like, I don't like how you're treating Hillary. And he's like, well, I can talk anytime today. Give me a call. Something like that. And those were emails that got leaked. What was that? WikiLeaks? Republicans and Democrats visited Alligator Alcatraz for the first time, and they call it inhumane. Look at this woman. Fairly fit. Mildly repulsive, but also mildly... I'm not going to say it. controversial pop-up tent immigration detention center. Ron DeSantis quickly assembled it in the Everglades. He's looked to match our greatest president, Donald J. Trump's hard line on immigration, painting his state as an eager partner in the president's plan to detain and deport millions, hopefully, of illegals. At least 5 members of Congress, 20 state legislators toured the detention center over the weekend. Wow, all kinds of mess. Republicans insisted the facility was appropriate and clean, staffed similar to any detention facility. Democrats raised concerns about food quantity, drinking water, high temperatures. Debbie Wasserman Schultz called it an internment camp. That doesn't sound so bad. Because the Japanese were put in internment camps by a Democrat. The guy with the wheelchair, right? During World War II. FDR, Franklin Roosevelt. They are essentially packed into cages, wall-to-wall humans, 32 detainees per cage. She didn't say the size of the cage because she doesn't have... What do women lack when they have... Oh, yeah. Lin Yen Chin explained that they do have depth perception. I just don't know anything. We got a sanitized version of the center. They were not allowed to talk to the detainees or enter tents where people were living so they could get a better look and understanding. Whatever. What a mess. Political Theater says Blaze Ingoglia, a GOP state senator. All political theater coming from the Democrats. Whoa, what they're saying is pure bogus speech, but it doesn't say bogus speech. It spells all the way out. You spelled it all the way out. Interesting. There were Gaza kids struck by IDF, an IDF strike, and there were others. It was like an accident. It was an accident. So there were constantly stuff is happening over there. That's why you want peace quickly, because all kinds of people dying accidentally and on purpose. It's not right. Friendly fire is huge, too. Friendly fire is huge. There was that shooting spree on Sunday. You got to watch out, even in beautiful Kentucky. Let me talk about this shooting spree thing. Even in beautiful Kentucky. 2 people dead. Church ladies. You go to church. And some guy who's running from after shooting a cop, a state trooper, during a traffic stop near the city's airport, 15 minutes away, drove to the Richmond Road Baptist Church and shot up the church. It doesn't even make sense. What in the world? Kentucky. Wait. Kentucky shooting suspect. I wonder if they've released the information on the guy who's dead now. A 34-year-old woman and a 72-year-old woman, something like that, these church victims. A mess. 3 hours ago, far-left BBC talking about it. 4 hours ago. Have they released this suspect identified according to WL something? Is that him? I wonder if that is him. Hopefully it's not. Guy House, 2022 mugshot, because he was charged elsewhere. So it's a white person, it looks like. Happy White History Month, I guess. Unless it's a black guy who looks white. But usually that's not the case. So there you go, blacks. There's a white guy did a shooting spree, I think. Let me make sure that this is accurate information. July 14th, that's today, shot a state trooper. The guy survived. Killed people inside the nearby church. Guy House behind both shootings Sunday afternoon. Wow. Sundays are supposed to be quiet, peaceful, godly. People drive slowly. Beverly Gum, 2 M's, 72. Christina Combs, 32, not 34. And he was shot dead. Three officers shot him during the incident. He died at the scene. The suspect. All allegedly. What a mess. So no known motive. 47-year-old suspect. Watch out, okay? We don't like we don't like murderous criminals running wild. We like the murderous criminals, but we like them to be in jail or properly punished. We like them, but we don't like them doing wrong. It's not right. That's crazy. The Texas flooding is, you know, they had the flash floods on the 4th of July. 10 days later, crazy thunderstorms, a band of them. Heavy rain to the region. And I don't even think they found everybody. They're still doing water rescues a week later, over the weekend. I guess. Maybe because of this stuff, more rain coming in Texas. 106 people died. No, it was more than 106. That was just in one county. 140 others still missing, so that body count's going to rise, I presume. What a mess, huh? Terrible. Let me just see. Oh, come on. Okay, nice. Justin Bieber has a new album. Whatever. Bitcoin. I remember when Bitcoin was like 10,000. And now it's 122,000. And maybe it's less than that now. But that's some crazy stuff going on in the world. And okay, to you guys' point about the Epstein thing. This far left forum, the Telegraph, I was perusing X, and this liberal, this young millennial or Gen Z or Gen Beta, maybe, Gen Alpha, Dean Withers on X. Big account, right? He quote tweets this September 2024, just before Trump was elected. The Telegraph, far-left foreign outlet, says Trump promises to release Epstein's client list if he wins the election. I'm like, I didn't know that. I didn't know he promised to release that. Well, if you look, I had to pull it up on an archive. September 2024, Trump promises to release the Epstein client list if he wins the election. I'm like, what? He did? Now, you can change your mind. You can make a promise and change your mind. But did he actually promise this? Convicted sex trafficker was a good salesman, says the former president. Okay, so he was on Lex Fridman's podcast back then, I guess. Donald Trump said, okay, so what is this line open with? He said he would have no problem releasing more files related to the sex trafficker Epstein. Okay, so he did do that. He did release files. Asked why a so-called list of clients who had visited the private island had not been made public, Trump said it probably will be. Probably. That's not a promise. Scores of names associated with Epstein made public this year in a tranche of court documents unsealed by a judge in New York. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Trump himself among those names in the files released in January of 2024. I didn't know that. Was that recent? Many names in the document mentioned in passing, and inclusion does not suggest wrongdoing related. I feel like this was all actually old information. There's our greatest president, Trump, and beautiful Melania, before he was president. And there's handsome Jeffrey Epstein and beautiful whatever her name is, Ghislaine Maxwell, at the club in 2000 before he got kicked out. Computer scientist turned podcaster Lex Fridman asked why he had hesitation about the documents being released. Trump, 78 at that time, said, I don't think I'm not involved. I never went to his island, fortunately, but a lot of people did. Pressed on why so many smart, powerful people allowed Epstein to get so close, Trump replied, he was a good salesman, a hailing, hearty type of a guy. Yeah, a lot of those people with that have that personality, I've noticed. They're very agreeable. He had some nice assets that he'd throw around like islands, but a lot of people went to that island, but fortunately, I was not one of them, said Trump. Lex Fridman, my competitor, said it was very strange that a list of clients, Little St. James and U.S. Virgin Islands, had not been made public. It's very interesting, isn't it? It probably will be, by the way, probably, said Trump, before adding he'd certainly take a look at it. So basically, he did what he said. There's little St. James Epstein's little island. Little Epstein's Island, whatever. Interesting, huh? Crazy. Wouldn't you want to go, kind of, out of curiosity? Would you have to get shots, though? Are there any natives on the island? JFK's interesting because it was so many years ago. They do that for danger, too, because it endangers certain people, Trump said. Why he didn't release the Kennedy stuff. I think now he has. Kennedy's different from the Epstein thing, but I'd be inclined to do Epstein. I'd have no problem with it, he said. So there's no promise there. Fake news from the far-left foreign outlet, The Guardian. But pretty interested. But anyway, Epstein committed suicide at age 66 at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan, August 2019, awaiting trial on new charges of trafficking teenage girls, so they claim. Interesting, huh? So, Any updates? He asks, trollingly, to get his 21,000 likes on his X. Liberals are all over it. So that's your little thing. Okay, let me just refresh. Make sure that I'm caught up on your supers. What's up, guys, over on the Rumble crew? Speaking of White History Month, let me do this Bigg Bump thing. Because Bigg Bump gave us a whole list, and I got down to like January. Where did I land off? The Mason jar. We covered the Mason jar guy. What's his name? John Landis Mason. We covered the Midnight Rider. That was Paul Revere. We covered I don't think that we covered Jack Daniel, day 23. Okay, so we got to day 24. We counted down from 31 to 20 to 1. Businessman. This is from Bigg Bump, BIGG_BUMP, frequent guest on the Hake Report. Back in 2020, he did every single day a white history hero. So that day's spotlight, July 23rd, 2020, businessman, master distiller, entrepreneur, founder of Jack Daniel Distillery, Jasper Newton Jack, quote unquote, Daniel, because Jack is usually somebody's nickname. Every day we make it, we'll make it the best we can. Doesn't July just feel white? Thank you kindly, Bigg Bump. Follow him on X. Also, Charles Schulz, SCHULZ, cartoonist, illustrator, day 22. Emmy Award, Peabody Award, and Reuben Award winning writer, World War II Army vet, Congressional Gold Medal recipient, and creator of Peanuts, Charles Schulz. Good grief. Doesn't July just feel white? Is Charles Schulz Jewish or normal white? I don't know, but shout out. Day 21, movie pioneer and TV pioneer, National Inventors Hall of Fame inductee, founder of Charles Jenkins Lab, Jenkins Television Corp., and Jenkins Automobile Company, Charles Francis Jenkins. Pretty cool, huh? That one is not familiar to me. Bigg Bump knows a lot of stuff. Day 20, American firearms duo inventors. Hey, Smith & Wesson, gun designers. I spoiled it. Entrepreneurs, gunsmith, and founders of Smith & Wesson Company, Horace Smith and Daniel Wesson. Hashtag 2A, Second Amendment. Absolute reliability. Smith & Wesson. Do you own a Smith & Wesson? I don't dox what I own. I don't dox whether I'm vaxxed. I don't dox whether I'm roided up. I don't dox whether I went to Little St. James, whatever that Epstein Island was. I don't dox much. Day 19, American TV icon, minister, puppeteer, writer, producer, musician, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient Fred Rogers, also known as Mr. Rogers. Won't you be my neighbor? Was he a liberal? I know Tom Hanks was, or is, sort of. Maybe Tom Hanks is going to repent, guys. Don't hate. Right on, man. I have time for like one or two more. Day 18 of White History Month, businessman, World War I U.S. Army vet, baby food inventor, pioneer, founder of Gerber's product company, Daniel Frank Gerber. The baby food babies are our business, our only business. Right on. And it's a man looking out for the babies. Day 17, July 17th. Horticulturalist, farmer, businessman, restaurateur, and founder of Knott's Berry Farm, Walter. I never knew his name was Walter. America's first theme park. Ride, fried chicken, and funnel cake, repeat. I went to Knott's Berry Farm, and one of our other friends who's called in before has been to Knott's Berry Farm, and he had to break up a fight to protect his wife and talk some sense into his fellow man. Fortunately, he's a big guy, so he can get away with stuff like that. Some of us little whippersnappers don't even try. Oh, by the way, let's see. I wanted to play something different for you guys. If we mosey on over to Hake Stories, and we click over here, I'm clicking blind a little bit. I was trying to do this last time. Enjoy this. Isn't this nice? Echoes in the keys. It is AI music. I made it myself. I was trying to make something for the church because I was getting concerned that we were gonna get like copyright for the little church song. But we're fine. No need. This has been the Hake Report. I have less than 2 minutes to go. American Anchor Baby is coming in. Very nice, Hake. Nice AI beat. Dun, 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 dun. Shout out to you other AI people, Carver, Jake. Thanks, Jake. And others. Do make sure that you do catch American Anchor Baby. Whether you're Rumble, whether you're Pilled, whether you're YouTube. Peace in the Middle East. Or at least in your hearts. Seek peace and pursue it, says the Bible. But not in this other stuff. Not the way Lamar recommended from church. The way the JLP described sounds realer. Sounds real. Take care, guys! Adios, America. It's over.